another episode of the IO Show. And today we are figuring out if a silverback gorilla can beat a grizzly. And uh, let's say both have the same conditions, just gotta use whatever's on their body, right? I don't care if the bear, some stairs, a chair, gorilla in five. Cause I think a gorilla is more muscular and it can just like it has more like force on it. You feel what I'm saying? Like I don't know, but a bear do got claws. I don't know. Let's see.
The silverback gorilla and the grizzly bear, two of the most fearsome builds in the game. Because they're not playable in the same servers, the question of which of these is more powerful, or specifically which one would win in 1v1 combat, is a common subject of debate on the game's forums. So today we're going to delve into the stats and abilities of both of these powerful builds, and determine which one would come out on top in a deathmatch. Let's start with the gorilla. In my primate tier list video, I ranked the gorilla as S tier, and it was the only primate other than the human to get that top tier rank. And there's good reason for this. Just have a look at this thing's base stats. The gorilla is easily the most powerful of all the primates, with a power stat well beyond most mammal builds within its weight class. Its arms allow it to climb trees with ease, and keep in mind, they do this without investing in any of the perks which make climbing easier, like cling pads or hooked claws. No, gorillas do this on strength alone, and they still make it look easy. And so it should go without saying that those arms can also toss most other players around like a ragdoll, and can dish out some serious damage in a short flurry of blows. Gorillas also have massive canine teeth.
Oh yeah, I made another video probably jocks about how 100 men could beat the gorilla. I truly believe that. No matter what he said in this video, bro, teeth stuff to chomp on something. If I dodge, he can't bite me. If he tries to grab me, I don't get grabbed. I hit him with the wing chop. You know what I'm saying? But anyway, I'm just trying to get my notes together.
And although these are mostly for intimidation, they can act as an extra damage.
Intimidate. Strong. Teeth for fashion.
Damage-dealing attack option if the situation calls for it. Mobility-wise, they move surprisingly quick given how short their back legs are. While not great at distance running, their burst movement...
So boom, the 100 men part. All we have to do is outrun it. All we have to do is make sure that we outrun it and then get tired. Oh my god, bro. And people think it's gonna beat 100 men. Alright, buddy.
potential is shockingly high. Defensively, gorillas don't have much to talk about. Their thick hide and bulky muscles offer some protection, but with only skin and fur covering their exterior...
Skin and fur. There's no defense.
Most attacks will be effective against them.
Oh, but it can bench 3,000. It can bench on the world. That don't matter if it don't connect. Low defense. Lames. Bro, I can beat a gorilla.
Luckily, their large size gives them a pretty generous hit point pool, so they should be able to tank a decent amount of hits in a pinch. Stealth-wise, gorillas are above average. Their coloration works pretty well in dense forests, although not as well as true camouflage patterns would.
Scared.
Because they walk on their hands and feet rather than hooves, they can move much more quietly than most herbivores, although not quite as silently as builds with padded paws and retractable claws. And finally, intelligence-wise, gorillas are far above average. Their complex social structure requires significant...
Compared to what? Animals?
Investment into the intelligence skill tree in order to unlock it. and in doing so,
See,
gorillas also gained access to
enough.
basic tool use and team tactics. The most common tool use tactic seen in gorillas is the use of sticks and rocks in order to more effectively dig out
Sticks and
termites from
stones,
their
eh?
mounds. Next, let's switch over to the brown bear.
Now, this personally, I think I could beat a brown bear one on one. No weapons, just these. And I'm not even a trained fighter, never been on a fight, and I believe it. And a bear has never faced anything that fights back. I'm gonna. The gorilla gonna have to. I mean, the bear gonna have to catch me for anything to work. A scratch, duck. Anytime I try to hit, you know what I'm saying? Like it's a boxing move. Every time someone hits, that's where they're at the weakest. So you just
In my bear tier list, I rated the brown bear at the low end of S tier. Taking a look at its stats, we can immediately see just how overpowered this thing is. Although not quite as powerful as the polar bear, it's still one of the strongest carnivorous mammal builds in the entire game.
wrong.
Really want a kitten, but
Yeah,
need to
no.
persuade someone? IAMS I Want a Puppy/Kitten Studios. Show them how awesome life could be with your new furry friend. Create your movie today.
Tim's Smile Cookie is here. Buy yours April 28th to May 4th.
One of the few that is able to take down builds like the moose, bison, and elk so
Damn.
Its power stat is just crazy high, mostly due to the insane damage a bear can dish out using its claw swipe attack. It's not uncommon for a single swipe from a grizzly to one-hit most players, as it deals both blunt force
That might be a problem. But again, it still has to connect. No one's saying they can swing fast. People saying they can just swing.
damage and slashing damage in no small amount.
Damn.
Unlike the gorilla, bears also regularly use their teeth in combat, rather than just for intimidation, and in this aspect they excel as well.
So it just has bite and scratch. Man, it's a level 5 Pokemon.
Defensively, the brown bear is quite sturdy. It has thick, loose skin, similar to the honey badger, which allows it to absorb serious blows without taking too much damage to their vitals. And with an HP stat similar to the gorilla, even if their opponents do score a critical hit, it's unlikely to mean an immediate game over. Stealth-wise, brown bears fare a little worse than the gorilla. Bears may not stick out that much visually, but they are some of the smelliest builds in the entire game, to the point where their odor often gives away their position long before they're detected via eyesight. Luckily for the brown bear, its incredible movement speed and endurance can allow it to close the distance on fleeing players, even if they get a head start fleeing from the
Bro, he just got left. Oh my god, bro. Imagine your family just leave you. Ooh, he was just born too.
bear's scent. With a top speed roughly similar to a horse, very few builds can reliably escape a charging bear,
Bump
especially given that bears can climb without issue as well. For those keeping
Yes.
track, this puts the bear's stats pretty much all either above or equal to the gorilla's with the exception of stealth. Of course, there's one stat we still haven't discussed yet, the bear's intelligence. When it comes to the gorilla versus grizzly debate, one thing that's often brought up is that the gorilla should be able to use its intelligence
Why can't it do that? Oh my, bro! I swear, scientists just do anything, bro. Like, you heard they found a new color. All right, bro. I swear to God, bro, scientists just do anything. They don't really do. They don't really work. They just sit there and just play with their thumb, bro. Finding new colors. Yeah, bro, shut up. Get
to
it.
easily outsmart the bear and gain a significant upper hand. Unfortunately for the gorilla, I vehemently disagree with this assessment. Not because gorillas aren't smart, but because bears are not dumb. A common quote you hear from human park ranger builds is that there's a great deal of overlap between the intelligence of the smartest bears and the dumbest humans, to the point where designing an effective bear-proof storage container is often impossible because it will also keep out a good number of humans it was meant to be used by. Bears are the most intelligent of all carnivoran builds, smarter than cats, dogs, weasels, foxes, seals, and hyenas. Their giant brains are a necessity in order to memorize key points of interest across their vast territories.
I don't think it's smart. I think they just got used to it. It's like evolution. You feel me? I don't think they're really like, I know how to do this. I think it's more of a, I know what's going, and it's not a what's going on. It's just I know how to do this. You feel me?
And for them to strategize how to access the best quality loot. This isn't to say the grizzly bear is going to invent some galaxy-brain gorilla trap on the spot or anything, but neither is the gorilla. Gorillas are incredibly intelligent builds for sure, but their intelligence manifests in their complex social dynamics and their tool use. In this scenario,
How could the gorilla learn 1,000 signs of American sign? Again, why? What are you do? Why does a gorilla need to learn sign language? What is this for? Oh my, bro, there are kids out here who can't read, and you're teaching a gorilla sign language. All right.
their intelligence manifests in their complex social dynamics and their tool use. In this scenario, it's 1v1, so the social dynamics is a non-factor. That just leaves their tool use, and in this regard, I think most players drastically overestimate the gorilla's abilities.
Thank you. Oh my god. People overestimate gorillas. They're not that smart. They
Gorillas are not supreme bushcraft weaponsmiths. In fact, their use of weapons at all is almost non-existent in the gorilla player base. They will use rocks to more efficiently access insect larvae, but as for personal defense, the only strategy gorillas have access to is the intimidation-based technique of tossing debris in an adversary's general direction. When done in groups, this is extremely effective, and is often how a party of gorillas will ward off an approaching leopard in their natural ecosystem. But 1 versus 1 versus a bear, there is no way this would be enough to deter an attack. The bear's own high intelligence would give it a high chance to resist the intimidation effect, and once the bear has closed the distance, the bear is winning this fight at least 95%.
well, all right. Let's.
But 1 versus 1 versus a bear.
See right here. That's where you lose me. I'm not hiding behind the tree. Seriously. Oh, man, that's where that bear went wrong. But bears aren't weak. You know what I'm saying? I'm not walking out. If I go 1v1 against the bear, I'm not walking out there completely unharmed. I'm losing. I'm gonna be scarred up. You know what I mean? I'm gonna be broken, but I'm still gonna win.
Bear, there is no way this would be enough to deter an attack. The bear's own high intelligence would give it a high chance to resist the intimidation effect.
Why
And
can
once
catch?
the bear has closed the distance, the bear is winning this fight at least 95% of the time. The gorilla would need not one, but several critical hits in a row to successfully take down a bear. Meanwhile, the bear would only need a few good bites and swipes before it's game over for the gorilla. So ultimately, that's how I think this matchup would go. Admittedly, I think it's a bit unfair to set up a scenario where the gorilla's most powerful ability is taken off the table, but the bear remains completely untouched.
So boom, if I was a gorilla, don't be racist. Well, if I was a gorilla, right? And I'm just going off animal instincts. I'm gonna let it bite me because, you know what I'm saying, muscle. I'm gonna let it bite me. Damn, and I'm just, I'll bite it back, and I'll win.
But that's the downside of investing in team tactics. If you ever find yourself caught off guard with no allies nearby, you might lose battles that you should otherwise at least have a fighting chance in.
Number 40. The feeling of finding something to watch before this ad ends. The feeling of winning, number 1.
Don't gamble.
If you find this analysis unsatisfactory, we can approach it another way, which would be to take a look at their matchup spread and see if we can find any easy comparisons.
All right, from my notes, if you can see that. not even gonna lie. He's right. The bear do got it. Because according to my analysis, the gorilla is strong, has teeth for fashion. It's fast, can't run for long. No, not that much defense. Scary and smart enough. All right, then we go to the bear side. Strong enough, has claws, has scratch. I mean, more of a slash, has crunch. Uh, Good defense, loose skin. They're smelly. They're pretty fast. Equivalent speed to a horse. All right, and they're smart. Yep, bear got it in five. It can be a gorilla, glorilla, Cinderella, bear in five.
While gorillas and bears never encounter each other in the wild and have no experience fighting each other, both the gorilla and the brown bear need to contend with big cats. While obviously not in North America, on other servers, brown bears actually sometimes share hunting territory with the tiger. This is the largest big cat build in existence, one which is powerful enough to, on rare occasion, take down rhinos and elephants solo. Matchups between bears and tigers tend to be pretty even. While there are recorded instances of tigers defeating bears and bears defeating tigers, generally these matchups tend to end in stalemates where neither player is truly defeated. However, when we take a look at the gorilla's matchup spread against its most common big cat opponent, the leopard, we see that the gorillas actually tend to lose this matchup. Leopards are far less powerful than tigers, yet nonetheless, even a leopard can score kills on gorillas. I think this is more a function.
Boom, right there. Speed, bro. If you're quick, I'm saying you shifty, you can beat a gorilla.
Of
God
the
will give
difference
me
in the
wins right
bear
now.
and gorilla's defensive stats than its offensive stats. Even with its above-average constitution stats, the gorilla's low defenses make it too much of a glass cannon, and in a massive slugfest fight like the subject of this video, the inability to absorb a lot of damage is an absolutely crippling disadvantage. No joke, I get this question at least once a week. It's to the point where if someone DMs me saying, I have a question, I just answer, the bear wins. And like 50% of the time, that's all they need. Now you know why. Hopefully you see me as an unbiased and trustworthy source for these sorts of analyses. But trustworthy sources.
Well, anyway, besides all of that, the bear wins. Like, comment, subscribe, and yeah, bye bye.